welcome to Cosplay Q-Up. I'm Hi-Rez Amanda, and this is Hi-Rez David.
And we're working really hard on my Naja costume, but we're taking a bit of a break to do some resin tutorials.
Resin is a great material to work with. It can seem a little bit intimidating, but the results are really awesome.
You'll want to find a resin that's in a 2-part mixture in a 1-to-1 ratio, so that's a little bit easier to mix. Unfortunately, we couldn't find that under our time constraints, so we're using a resin that uses a drop formula, which makes it a little bit harder.
Yeah, just make sure you don't get one that has everything in one bottle, because once you start working with it, you have to finish at the same time, and that can be a little intense.
Well, let's get casting! For this tutorial, you'll need resin, a variety of molds. You'll also need some inks to color it as it sets, some popsicle sticks or another sort of mixing utensil, some sort of Vaseline or grease product, and as an added bonus, LED lights.
So these little LEDs are single use, but if you want to get fancy, you can wire your own LEDs.
We're not that fancy.
Well, we hope this tutorial lights up your costume. That's not the pun.
Is that not what the pun is?
Nope, it is actually.
God damn it, Amanda!
Anyways, first you're going to want to grease your molds so that you can take the resin out when it's ready.
We're also pre-mixing our inks ahead of time. We're doing a couple green and purple gems, so we're mixing a couple colors to get the right color that we want.
Be sure to use that sparingly. If you put too much color in, it's not going to be as transparent for the LEDs. But now it's time to mix the resin. Just make sure you read the instructions and do whatever the package says.
Right, every resin works a little bit differently, so we can't really tell you what we did, and it might not apply to yours. Also, depending on how perfect you want your mold to be, you might want to work in really tiny layers, which means you pour a really thin layer, wait for that to dry, pour another really thin layer, wait for that to dry, pour another really thin layer, probably wait for that to dry again, and repeat.
Since we like to live life dangerously and we're working on kind of smaller pieces, we're going to just pour it all at once.
After you pour your resin, you'll want to add in your colors. Different inks will have varying opaqueness as the resin sets, so you might want to test a couple pieces.
Also, if you're using LEDs, now's the time that you want to make a little indentation in your resin while it's hardening. We just used a plastic knife and left it in there, and this will help just give you a place to put the LED once it's ready.
And after that, you're all set. Then you just want to make like a metapod and wait for it to harden.
We waited overnight for ours just to be safe, but once it's ready, you can set it butter-free. Since we're kind of new to resining, we thought it would be great to reach out to a cosplayer who kind of specializes in, and that can give us some tips and tricks that you guys can try at home.
So let's cut to Seraph Cosplay with her tips on making a custom resin mold.
Hey guys, I'm Seraph, and I just wanted to give you a quick look at how I do some of the casting for my costumes using resin and hot glue. One of the easiest ways to make a small, durable mold is by using a 2-part silicone putty. I'm going to be making a model of this little earring that I have that's a lion, it looks like on her. So we're going to use this, it's small and really simple. Next, you're going to estimate how much silicone you need to cover your model completely, then take out half of the amount from part A and the other half from part B. Once you start mixing them together, you have about 3 minutes of working time before the silicone will begin to cure. So just press them between your fingers and mix. Once the marbling is gone and you have this nice smooth purple color, press it around your mold, making sure to push the silicone into areas where there are crevices or holes to capture all the detail in your model. Be sure that your mold will have enough space to be spread open and remove the cast piece when you cast. If you want it to have a flat back, just press the putty onto a smooth surface all the way around. Once the silicone is rigid and you can't put a fingernail mark in it, it's ready to demold your model. So just pop your model out, and you should have a really nice looking mold. Thanks for listening, guys. I hope that was helpful, and good luck with your casting.
Wow, that was such a great tutorial and tip, and definitely something I'm going to be looking to use in the future.
Yeah, Seraph's awesome. She's actually working on this tier cosplay for SWC, and it looks so cool.
So amazing. And speaking of SWC, it's time for our favorite part of the show, Cosplay Cuties!
First up, we've got Nemesis and Red Star Athena cosplays by Bilal and Bill Dandy.
I love this Athena skin. It's probably my favorite one from the game, and you see a lot of really good cosplays of it.
Yeah, I love how they actually sought out a really cool location for their photo too. Next up, Lyric sent in her Covert Ops Bastet as part of the Halloween costume contest, and it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, meow. There are a lot of really good details in this cosplay.
Yeah, she went all out, even for a Halloween costume. It looks amazing.
And finally, we have Thomas, who also sent in his Halloween costume, Survivor Uller.
I like how he's kind of doing some action poses with this costume. It's really fun, and you kind of have to have fun with this cosplay.
He definitely looks like he's ready to slay some zombies.
As always, thank you for sending in your pictures of your cosplays. We love seeing them. Just keep tweeting them to us, and we'll feature them on the show.
And don't forget that SMITE World Championship is coming up.
$20,000 in prizes.
Anyway, thanks for watching this week's Cosplay Q-Up. If you have any tips for working with resin for us really obvious noobs, leave them in the comments below.
Yeah, and show us what you've done if you've worked on any other resin stuff. But tune in next time, we'll be looking at Craft Foam 101.